You're about to enjoy a Cloudcast original. Local stories, local storytellers, local brands.
Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the CEO Leading In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of CEO. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights despite their sometimes rocky paths and found a way to lead in. Today, we are here with Stephanie Perez, founder and CEO of Perspective Fitwear. Perspective Fitwear is a San Diego-based athletic apparel company on a mission to elevate women's athletic wear, starting with good human tech fabric, offering technical aspects of the highest quality athletic wear without compromising on quality or aesthetics. Each Perspective piece is sweat-wicking, fast-drying, SPF 50, antimicrobial, and is buttery smooth to the touch. So what's not to love about that?
Yes.
Thank
you so much
Stephanie.
for having me.
Oh, it's so great to have you. I'm so excited to have you share your journey, which I know is pretty interesting. But we'll get to that. So I want listeners to see you as who you are. You're a mom, a business owner, entrepreneur, a CEO in every sense of the word. And you are doing what we all strive to do, and that is juggle and have it all.
Yes.
So in your childhood, is there a story? I want people to see who you are as a person. From your childhood, do you have a story that many people do not know that you'd like to share with us? It might be kind of funny or fun.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say, I've always kind of been empowered by my parents. Growing up, my mom actually started her own company as a physical therapist. And so that was kind of my first peek into what it looks like for you to own your own company and, own your own career. And so I always was inspired by her in that way. And I still remember when she would used to get, faxed patients sent to her and she'd be so excited, and just kind of the empowerment that I saw within her that I always admired. And then when it comes to specifically within triathlon and why I wanted to start the company, specifically when I started within multi-sport, cycle and triathlon apparel, my best friend, my dearest friend, we're still friends today. Her mom was a triathlete, and growing up, she was into triathlons. She would race them. And, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's no, real body of water. You're not on the coast. We're, 45 minutes from the Ohio border, basically middle America. And then, this is back in the early 90s when women doing a lot of sports or in triathlon, and triathlon in general wasn't really big. I was very intrigued by it. So I always knew that I wanted to do one day. And so when I graduated from college, I signed up for my first triathlon. And for my 21st birthday, instead of having a party, my parents were like, oh, we'll get you a limo. You can have a party, all this stuff. I'm like, I want a road bike. I want to, sign up and do this triathlon. So they took me to Dick's and I got my first bike. And that was the start of my journey. And this woman, my neighbor, Janine Schuliger, she helped me train for my first triathlon. We did it together at the local YMCA. She just gave me all kinds of tips. And once I did that, I was hooked. And over the last, 10, 15 years, that's when I was really realizing there wasn't a lot offered for women when it came to the athletic apparel that was cute but also very functional for this sport in particular. And then that just transcended into so many other sports that I saw as an adult that there was a huge gap in the market for it.
Well, it seems to me that your journey chose you with that story.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. And it's true. You know, a lot of times back then, a lot of the athletic wear was very, let's just say, not cute. The colors were very drab, and they were not like today. And I see
really
you're wearing
catered. Yeah, it was more catered to men. You know, back then it was basically Nike and Under Armour. You know, you didn't really have any, the plethora of other companies out there today that are leaning into women, right? It was more of, sports were dominated by men, and so the apparel spoke to that group of people. And so, there just wasn't a lot of options. And even still in the multi-sport world, within, cycling or triathlon or a lot of other sports, there's still a lot of catching up to do for women.
Definitely. So, I know what my word for you would be, but can you tell us one word that you think describes you best?
Oh, that's a great question.
I'll tell you my word. Do you want me to share what I think?
Yeah.
I'm thinking driven.
Ah, yes.
You seem very driven to me. You seem like, okay, well, there's something I want and I'm going to go get it. But tell me what you think the one word is that really describes you the best.
Yeah, I was actually going to use the word passionate. In everything that I do, I want to be the best. I want to do the best or give it my all, even if it doesn't mean I'm number one. I'm doing the best that I can for me, that I know that I'm putting forth my best effort. And so I love being into things that I'm very passionate about and excited about, and I want to see it through to the end. So whatever I'm doing, I'm like 100% in, or I'm not doing it.
And that's one of the things I tell young people, and I know you probably are the same way, and that is to find something that you're really passionate about it. And, as I've, during this journey, just in the CEO podcast, talking to other women, they all seem to say the same thing, and that is find something that you're passionate about, because then it doesn't seem as much like actual work.
Yes.
Because it's something that you naturally do, and you really can find a lot of just happiness and settling and all of that. The things that we're always striving for,
yes.
right? And balance. Oh my gosh. That leads me to my next question. That is, you came today, you have your sweet little son.
Elijah.
Yes, he's so handsome.
Thank you.
But how do you balance work with all of the rest of your life's responsibilities?
Yeah. So that's a great question, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying about being driven and how I'm very passionate. Sometimes it is really hard to balance because I love what I do so much and I enjoy it, that I want to do more and more and more. Or I find it hard to say, okay, I'm done working and now I'm going to focus on, X, Y, and Z. So it's something that I'm still trying to figure out. My son, he's only 6 months old. My husband is military. He's in the United States Navy, and he flies for them, helicopters. So he's gone a lot, and there's a lot of inflexibility within his schedule, right? He can't just, call up the Navy and ask to take a day off so I can do something. Yeah. So, I just bring my child with me everywhere I go, and I just figure it out, and I try to not get super flustered and just know that, hey, like, I'm a woman CEO and this is what this looks like, and kind of creating a new sense of norm, that what's socially acceptable. And I think with COVID, there's been a lot more of that. With people being home on Zoom, people are so much more patient and understanding that people have lives, that they're sitting in their room and maybe they're like, kid is in the background and all of a sudden bursts through the door, or the dog starts barking, and, everyone's having those experiences and you're like, this is life. But you know what? It kind of humanizes everyone, and you can see that people are more than just work, right? They have this whole other life. And so I try to be less apologetic about the fact that, yep, I have a son and he comes with me and this is what it looks like. And it kind of empowers me a little bit more that as a woman CEO and running my business, it does look different from what a man would be running it, and finding empowerment in that and not apologizing for that. So I'm still figuring out the juggling, but probably a nanny at some point.
I think we all are, right? I think COVID, it has been a time where we've really learned to innovate out of things, change, and bring things that are new.
Yes.
I one of my guests actually said the new part, and that does really capture what's going on. There are so many new things that are happening. And you're right. Bringing your kids to work maybe didn't seem normal, but I think it's wonderful. And I really want to hear a little bit more about your journey with your husband, being he's in the service, because I know there are a lot of women out here that that are listening today that really want to hear from you how that looks, because it's very difficult when your husband's gone 6 months out of the year or however long it is, and sometimes even much longer than that. And so, protecting our freedom, and thank you for that, because it is not just him. It truly is a family affair of service. So many of us really appreciate our freedom. And so how does that seem different to you than possibly your mom's journey?
Right. Yes.
How does that look?
A lot of people, a lot of families, people that aren't in the service, they have somewhat of a regular schedule, 9 to 5, a little bit more predictable. Even if it's not 9 to 5, it's very predictable. Whereas with us, he flies. And so every day the flight schedule comes out for the next day. So you have no idea. I mean, one day he could be going in at 3 p.m., fly all night, get home at, 6 a.m. and then go into work late. And then the next day, he's up at 4 a.m. to go into work. And, so I have to kind of figure everything out for myself. And that was also another reason that was really motivating for me to want to start this company, because I come from my background. I had a career in corporate America. I was a finance major. I was a buyer for Macy's in New York City, did inventory planning, merchandising. And then I moved out to San Diego and was with Petco. So I had this career, and when I decided to marry the Navy, with that comes the fact that I could probably lose my job because we move. And it's hard for military spouses to get jobs, consistent jobs, because they're moving around every couple of years. Their significant other is on deployment, has erratic scheduling, so they're often taking care of the kids. They don't have time to then have a career. And so I wanted to start my company because then I have complete control over my career and I can bring it with me wherever I go. So that's something that I was super passionate about, and also wanting to speak to the military community in that way. Natalie, our vice president of marketing, her husband did a 4-year stint. Brent, who is in charge of all of our inventory, shipping, handling, all that kind of stuff, he served for 11 years in the Navy. So we definitely have a tight community, and we love supporting the military community in that fashion. But I would say, once again, it's just being patient with myself, right? I can't do it all, and just accepting what is, and being patient through the process with myself, and not getting down on myself or hard on myself if it looks different or I can't have a normal schedule, so to speak, and I cart my son with me everywhere I go. And then the support of family,
I was just going to mention that, because that is another part of this, being that you do move around more often than most. You probably don't have a lot of close family that's right here that you can say, hey, I need some help with Elijah today. And, so that I think is something that even is more points to your strength and your resilience, because that is tougher. And, I really am excited to hear a little bit more about your journey, but also encouraging other women that are in the same circumstances that don't have the family support system close and here ready all the time. And, really need to deal with a lot of that flexibility of you're not quite sure what the schedule is going to be. And then, when you've got a long-term deployment too, it's also very different too. So anyway, I love that we're having these conversations. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned that you'd like young women to learn and apply to their lives that maybe helped you, that maybe they could take? And I think part of it has to do with the military background, because that really is valuable. And a lot of women, I think, and maybe you can help me, a lot of the military wives, don't they think, well, I can't really start something because I'm moving, but being that you've already started something, what is some wisdom that you could share about that?
Yeah, so I always tell people, it kind of goes back to my background within athletics and sports and, doing races. I always say the hardest part is signing up for the race. Just getting started, finding the training plan. And it's the same sort of thing within business. The first step is always the hardest. And then once you make that step, it's just a series of steps beyond it. And then you just start falling into it and getting things done. And you just figure out a way, right? Whatever you want to create time for, you make the time. Whether, I had many sleepless nights or, all day things, whatever that it looks like, you just find the time to make it happen and you stick with it. So being resilient, being confident in yourself, playing sports at a young age, and I was a Division I athlete in college and racing in marathons, triathlons, it gave me a sense of confidence that I am capable. If I set my mind to something, I can achieve it. And that transcends into business and into every other aspect of my life, that having the confidence to just get started. A lot of people, I think, it's easy to make the excuses or hide behind, oh, I'm busy or this or that. But really, it could be stemming from fear and feeling like you aren't capable and you don't know how. And something that I want everyone to know is it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to not know things and lean into other people, ask for help. I think one of my greatest strengths that I have is really understanding what I do know and what I don't know. And my mom always said it's just as important to know what you don't know and what you don't want to do as it is what you do know and what you do want to do. And so for me, I knew immediately, okay, here are the things that I'm not good at and how can I outsource that for help, i.e. Natalie with all of my marketing, or Corinne, who is our designer, or the people that I surround myself with who are the experts and know that field, and I can rely on them and take some of that off of my plate and lean into things that I do know that give me the confidence. And so I just want everyone to feel that way, that you can do it and you just have to get started. And it can be little baby steps, little things. Like the first thing I did when I started my company, I just got incorporated. I came up with a name. I got a logo. My dad had a coworker through his company that did freelance artwork on the side. She made my logo, Jazz. She's amazing. And I got incorporated. And just little things like that, where it doesn't have to be all in one day. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And when you look at it that way, it's a lot more digestible. Like you can feel like there's not as much pressure.
Well, I love the part about you sharing that you found the right people to do the things that you weren't good at, because I think we all kind of feel like we fall short because, oh, I don't do this well and, oh, I don't do that well. And I think, one of the things I think about leadership that is important is, I tell people this all the time, you surround yourself with people that you aspire to be like in ways.
Yes.
And they'll build you up because, surrounding yourself with good people that are better at some things. And there's always someone that's going to be better at something else than you, right? And I think as women, we really tend to look at other women and go, wow, she's great at this, or wow, she's great at that. But I don't think we need to compare ourselves. I think we need to figure out, how do we say, okay, I need to find someone that will help me in my journey that can actually cover me in that particular weak area. So I love that. I love how you shared that. What are you most passionate about in this journey that you've taken?
For me, it's about inspiring women to do things that they want to do and not holding back. And I always say, and it stemmed from within triathlon, right? I'm like, hey, I love doing this sport. It's super fun. There's nothing cute out there for women. It's all made for men. I want to just make some cute things that you just feel good in. And I always felt like, when you feel good in something, then you feel naturally more confident. And then you rise to the occasion. You carry yourself differently. And then you feel like you can do anything, right? For women, it's a lot about, it starts with what you wear. You have to put something on. And so that's why I wanted to start with the clothing. But the clothing is just a vehicle for what I want to inspire in women. And what I really want to inspire in women is self-confidence. Perspective, the name of our company. You don't have to look like the person next to you or do this comparison. That's not what it's about. Life is about how you view the world, how you view yourself, and not comparing to anybody else. And yes, and I'm learning that journey even within motherhood. Motherhood is a whole nother journey where there's a lot of comparison and, well, my kid's doing this or that and the milestones. And I have to remind myself that this is my journey and my journey looks different from the person next to me. It's not better or worse. It's just different, and celebrating all of that and the differences in everybody. And so that's why I wanted to start this company, is just to empower women in their journey. And I love athletics. I love sports. I think it does so much for us as humans. And you see the success within men and young boys and how it's about, teamwork, being on a team, listening to a coach, having to collaborate, or being a leader on the field. And there's so much that's learned through sports that I feel like all young girls and women should have that same experience. And you'll see the confidence in all of those learnings transcend into every other aspect of their life. And so if, when we go to an expo and I have a woman come up and she tries our stuff on and she feels so good, like that to me that's why I started the company. That I get so excited when I see women try our stuff on and love it and feel confident and excited to be active and excited for the race that they're going to be doing, because now they feel like they look really good.
I think, wow. So sitting here listening to you, all I hear is celebrating uniqueness.
Yes.
Celebrating uniqueness of we're all very different, but you want everyone to feel good. And I do love that, because you're right. I mean, we look at, oh my gosh, magazines, and we go, oh, I don't have that body. Oh gosh, I'm never going to look like that. But there's something unique about each one of us, and we should celebrate those things. And I do want you to tell me a little bit more about this unique fabric.
Yes.
Everyone loves the sweat wicking, because
yes.
I'm always when I work out, I'm always going, oh wow, I'm really sweating. Can you see the sweat on me? I can feel the sweat on me. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? I'd love to hear about it.
So the fabric, what's really different is I wanted it to be functional and technical. So I didn't want to be sacrificing how cute something looks by it's not very functional. So I had to marry the two together. It's like function meets fashion. And so therefore you can do anything you want in it. It's designed to do a triathlon, to get wet. It's fast drying, 10 to 30 minutes. It has the sweat wicking capability. It's the antimicrobial, keeping you safe. The SPF is super important to me, having the UV ray protection. I'm very fair skinned, and so I've had some experiences with skin cancer, and so protecting the skin that you're in is super important. And so I wanted to be very intentional about the fabric that I found, and sourcing with the mill and working with them and finding pieces that functioned well, but then were also very cute. And so when I work with my designer, working on all of the silhouetting and the styling and having it look really nice, that's great, but it starts with the fabric. So when people touch our fabric, they're like, wow, it's so soft. It feels like butter. And that's what good fabric should feel like. When you get the stuff that's kind of crunchy or,
scratchy. No one likes scratchy athletic wear.
And all of the, the chemicals that are put into activewear to make it what it is also very harmful to your skin. A lot of people forget that your skin is your largest organism. And so anything you put on your skin seeps directly into your bloodstream. And so while people are more conscientious of, ditching and switching their makeup or their lotion that they're putting on or the food they're putting in their body, your clothing is the same thing. Your activewear is tight against your skin. You're often sweating in it. And so then all of those chemicals can seep into your skin. So we're actually Okotex certified, so we guarantee the non-existence of any of those harmful chemicals or toxins. And so therefore, it's going to be better for your skin. It's going to be safer, and that's what gives it that really nice, soft touch as well.
I love that. And, for me, I don't know what is with me, but my hands are very sensitive to those heavy dyes and fabrics. They actually make my hands itch.
Yes.
So I
all
don't
the
know.
chemicals.
Yeah, all the chemicals really do. They bother me. And so I love that you're doing something different than that and really thinking and as you said, being intentional about what are you putting on your body and how are you going to change that. And so just thinking about role models, it sounds like your mom was one of your role models. But are there other people in your life that have really helped shape you to really take this journey? And again, I think you're pretty fearless too.
Thank you.
I think that's definitely. I could actually think of a lot of different words. I think finding one word to capture who you are is probably a difficult one.
Definitely. Well, we always say, Natalie always says, you're more than just one thing, right? And that's where we celebrate our activewear, where you can do a lot of different things in it. You can go for a bike ride. You can do a triathlon. You could go to the coffee shop. You could go for a run. You can go to yoga. You can whatever. You can do anything in it because you're more than just one thing.
Oh, wow. I love that. All right. So just thinking about what's next on your journey, do you have any plans for expansion or what are you going to do next?
So, yeah, right now we're developing a men's line. It'll be smaller. We still want to focus on our women, but we have been getting a lot of requests to have some men's pieces. So we're going to be making a couple of those. We do have our store in Bird Rock, La Jolla that we opened in July. So that's been going well, building that up.
During COVID.
During COVID, yes. Continuing with that success there and expansion. Obviously our online channel. Now that the country's opening back up, we want to start going to races again. I love going to the races. I love seeing the women come into the booth, our customers, and I love seeing that in-person experience of them loving our stuff. That's what drives me and makes me so happy. So it's hard work going to the expos, but I love it. I get so much satisfaction and joy out of it. So
do you have a step and repeat? The backdrop that has your name on it, because I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, how fun it would be every time you go to one of those expos for people to go with their little Perspective Fitness wear and take pictures in front of that.
That's a good idea.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I could just totally see it. How fun that would be. Well, I definitely hope that you'll be able to go to a lot of races. I know as things are coming back, people are getting vaccinated. People are getting more confident.
They want to start exercising again, the COVID-15 or whatever.
Yeah. I'm COVID-6 myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for you. Now that you're bringing up the men's line, I have a sneaky suspicion that probably the requests have come from women that think, oh, if I go and get my husband something, I could get a little something for myself.
Definitely. I mean, women are the shoppers, right? So they and oftentimes we think of ourselves last. So they're getting everything else for their family. They're taking care of the kids, they're getting the kids' clothes, they're getting their husband something. And then it's like, oh yeah, me too. Forgetting about that. So definitely. And the other thing, we do get requests. We get a lot of men that come to us who want to buy something for their wife or their significant other because health and wellness is becoming more of a lifestyle. It's not just singular in a competitive sport. It's now just about family time, getting out. I'll be out walking Elijah around in the stroller and my husband's doing, laps on the bike. Things like that where you're just out together and you're just living a healthy, active lifestyle. And so you see men wanting to get their significant other more involved, especially in the biking and in the multi-sport world, because it is very, heavily male dominated. It's intimidating for women to just start doing it if they're not they don't have another person to help them along. So we get a lot of requests from men because of that as well. And then they love the fabric and want, it for them too.
I want that too. Well, you know what? What's interesting is now that you've brought up the whole thing about exercise and all of that, I think it is definitely becoming more of a lifestyle. We're living longer. We've really, and I think people are grateful for their health now more than ever. And really getting out and staying active and just enjoying the sunshine. And there is definitely something to be said. We all know that vitamin D is good for us.
Yeah.
But when we're out there, and I really appreciate the fact that it's SPF 50 because it's true. I mean, we are seeing more skin cancer and those sorts of things.
Aging.
Yeah, for sure. And we don't want to age, of course. We want to look great forever.
Wrinkles,
so we want great clothes and we want to keep our skin healthy. But, just kind of leading back to, the whole healthy lifestyle. I do totally agree with you. It is becoming more of the norm than not. And, providing an avenue for people to feel good and feel,
confident.
Women want to feel beautiful, right?
Exactly.
And women are beautiful. Yes. And it doesn't matter the shape of your body or the the color of your hair, the color of your skin. Like every woman is beautiful in some way, shape, or form. So I love that you're celebrating that uniqueness. I really do. So on our parting advice to women, what would you give the next generation of women or leave them with that you think has really helped you in your journey that may translate to something for them?
That's a great question. I would say to take up space. Don't apologize for anything. To be confident in what you are passionate about or what you want to do. And even if you don't know how to get there right away, have confidence in yourself that you're going to figure it out. And make, that's what I would say. And to be present, take up space, speak when, whenever you feel like you have something to say.
Wow, that's really good. Oh, thank you so much today.
Thank you.
I actually saw a shift in your in you knowing that you want people to succeed. I can tell that. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate that. That's so inspiring and encouraging because there are a lot of people that I know are going to listen to today to what you had to say, and they will be inspired by it.
I hope so.
You have taken being a military wife and a mom to these levels that are just really pretty exciting, moving, without your family support system, going out in faith and courage and confidence.
Yes.
And again, really celebrating the differences in all of us. And I really appreciate you. And I'm so proud of you. And thank you so much for coming today. And I really hope that people are inspired by what you had to say today.
Thank you. Me too. And again, thank you for inviting me on here. It's a pleasure chatting with you.
Oh, thank you.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learn how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with CEO host Rebecca Jones.
You have been listening to a Cloudcast original. Local stories, local storytellers, local brands. Find more stories at cloudcast.us.